Hi there, Jono here, hope you're doing well. So in this video we're going to just finish up setting up our management network. So we'll add, for example, the AP and Proxmox and iDRAC to the management network. So the first thing we need to do is log into our switch and then set up the VLANs. And we can see here we've got VLAN ID 103 available, so we'll use that. So I'll type VLAN 103 and I'll just call this network lab. Then, because all the traffic is going to be untagged, I'm just going to mark for ports 19 to 23 as untagged. This will allow any management devices the ability to connect straight to the network. We don't need to set up any VLANs on those, or just make things easier to connect to. So once it's all done, we can apply it, and that's it. It is now ready to be used. So with that done, I'm going to connect the main management LAN cable in, and then I'll also plug in the Wi-Fi access point that I've set up into it. With that plugged in, the main management network will now be able to run through all those ports, and our Wi-Fi access point will be available for us to connect. The next thing we're going to do is change the address settings on Proxmox. So we'll click on DNS and edit the DNS settings. In this case it will be 10.0.0.1. Then from there we can go to our network, choose the main one, and then double click on it to edit it. As you can see here, we want Proxmox on 10.0.0.2, so we'll change it there, and then the gateway will be 10.0.0.1. We can save that and apply the network settings. Now we can move the Proxmox off of my home network and then onto the new management network. Now we can change this, so we'll do it as 10.0.0.2. But now, since I'm not connected to the network anymore, I just need to go and connect to that new, or to my access point that I've set up on that network. Once I've connected to it, I'll now be on the management network, and if I refresh the page, I'll now be able to log into Proxmox again with the new IP address. The next thing we're going to do is move iDRAC to this new network. So I'm going to connect iDRAC, in this case to port 19. And once that is done, we have to reboot the server so that we can boot into the iDRAC setup, in the BIOS. So again, you can push Ctrl E to enter the BIOS, and then from there we can go to the LAN settings and change the IP address. So in this case, I'm going to have iDRAC on 10.0.0.4. So you can save those settings and reboot. Once the server is rebooted and everything's running, we can see if we can access it now. So if we go to 10.0.0.4, you'll see the login page loads up. Let's see if we can log in. And there we go, we are now logged into iDRAC. Now the cons of having everything connected through our OpnSense virtual machine is, let's say for example you turn on your server and OpnSense does not boot up. So in this case I'm just going to turn it off just to simulate it. If we then try connect to the network, since our routing is off, we will obviously not get an IP address. So we need to turn the Wi-Fi off and on. Now if I go to details, you'll see that we will eventually get a self-assigned IP address. If this happens, all we have to do is just set or give our laptop a static IP in our IP range of the management network. So in this case, we'll give it an address, so like 10.0.0.9. Okay. Now with it, we can still connect to our Proxmox instance. So from there you can go and, for example, turn on the OpnSense VM or recreate it or see what's broken or vice versa. So even if your OpnSense is off and down, you still have the ability to connect to your Proxmox and iDRAC or anything like that. So we will now turn it on. Once it's started, we can then set our Wi-Fi back to DHCP, and then we should get an IP address again. Okay, and then from there we're back up and running. So thank you for watching. If this helped you, please like and subscribe. It will help the channel, appreciate it. And then until then, I'll see you in the next one.